So let me get my stuff together. By the way, Trump Wars, the film, it is actually on YouTube. I've just, I think on my last post, I just think I've written it somewhere to somebody. I guess you could just type Trump Wars in and it'll, Trump at War, and it'll come up. Let me sort my stuff out. Been painting. No. Oh, hi. Hi, Daddy Dragon. Is it you? I didn't know it was you. Bored? Bloody hell, I've been on YouTube about 3 times. Never bored. How can you be bored with what's going on in the world? It's just bonkers. And this chat's going to be bonkers because it's the Aliano Chatto off there. You know, when Q dropped the Are We Alone thing. And it's a bit of fun anyway. You know, just in case the trollos come in. Like they do. But who cares? So, like I said today, happy about the JFK Jr. whoop whoop thing. As us who were on the train with the JFK Jr. being alive and well, people. Like I said, a lot of the Q drops go back to JFK Jr. And by the way, before I start talking about the third, fourth, fifth dimension, whatever you want to call it, or whatever, I didn't know what to call it. I've just seen Joe M on Twitter, and he's actually twittered about JFK Jr. thinking he was sort of there. Now he's 50. Now he's starting to believe the JFK Jr. thing. Brilliant. The more people get aboard, the more people will be looking at the evidence that people have been giving. You know. Woo woo. Trump train, next phase, JFK Jr. Anyway, even though, like I said before, the whole JFK thing goes into the, and JFK Jr. goes into the alien things anyway. It's all connected, people, military and stuff, and presidential, the book, Behold the Pale Horse. It says it all right there. So yeah, I've watched Trump Wars today. That was brilliant. A bit of Gaia and Evening, and a bit of something called the Pineal Ascension on YouTube. That's the Alieno, I'll just call it the alien sort of chitty chat about a guy called, I'm just trying to find it because everything's mismatched. Do you like my painting? My mismatch, everything's mismatched. I don't know where anything is. It was talking about different species, like the ones that look a bit like mantis. Draco reptilian, not that they're that smiley because they're not. Greys, these big whites, and like Pleiadian, and there's many more apparently, but I should talk about that in a minute. Oh, it's all right. You can lurk. It's just a bit of fun if anyone's not into it, but you know, it does tie a lot of things in. But yeah, this guy called Emery. I think he's called Emery. I'm just trying to find out where I wrote it because I've just wrote everything everywhere. Another picture I was drawing the other day. Just let me see if I can find this. What I was writing down before. Emery. I don't know if anyone's heard of him. Emery. Can't remember. It might have been Smith. Oh, this big one. I have many different ones. Hi. I'm just trying to find something I've just written down and now I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I was watching, if anyone watches, what was it called? I think it was Pineal Ascension, and it was a guy called Emery, someone who worked for the military. Oh, I'll have a look after. I'm just trying to find what was it. That's it. I thought it was Emery Smith. Yeah, Emery Smith. So I found out about him the other day. And apparently it was something like he went and worked for the military when he was young, because I think he was doing a bit like what would you call it? Not a doctor, but could dissect tissues and things like that. So they needed someone to dissect tissues. Autopsy. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my thingy where I started from. He is handsome. I think he's quite handsome. He's big guy as well. He wanted to dissect ask me later. I just can't remember. He said it started off with like dissecting. He didn't know, dissecting like salmon. I'll let you know after. Salmon, like he said, they come out in like a square, like a square piece. Manchester, dissecting pieces of salmon, and then it'd be other things, and then it'd move on to like things that he didn't really know what they were, and then it'd be like a hand, but not always a human hand, maybe something that looked not human. And he did say it was amazing. He got quite obsessed with all the stuff he had to do while he was there, because he reckons some of it was cloned. Because don't forget, he was underground military, the underground tunnels. He was in the underground tunnels. He said, this reminds me of Men in Black. Now, if you don't believe in this is just a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun like we had the other night to talk about if you don't believe in it. I do believe in all sorts of different things, even if there's hidden truth and lies involved in all of it. Because like I said, history's a lie anyway. We are not the ones that are only out there. There's no way. No, I'm not. I don't support football. And he said it was like he'd live on the base, and then when he went to work, he only had to like ride a bike there because he lived on the military base, like Air 51 or whatever it's called. Think of the film. Makes me think of the film now. Men in Black. Because they put it out in films, it's a universal law, which I'll go into later. It's on 17 now, like it normally is. Then it'll go 18, and then it'll go up. And he said it was 18, as I just said. He said he'd ride over to this light, and it's gone back down to 17. He'd go over to this little, maybe it looked like a little sort of tiny building or a lift, which I think reminded me of the Men in Black. Didn't they do that? And you'd go in it, it'd be bigger, and then you'd go down the lift, and it'd be just underground, layers on layers. There could be like 50 stories because you go in it in the ground. But he did also say he travelled on, which I have seen on many YouTube channels of different things, if anyone looks at this sort of stuff, a conveyor belt, he said, but it had a seat on it. And I think he was talking about, I don't know if anyone knows the name, but I remember seeing something like this. Yeah, we're not the only ones in the universe. It was something like I'm going to draw it. Imagine that as a tube, and you were in a tunnel, and then you've got this little area you sit on, and that moves like the speed of light or something. That just moves really quickly. He said you could be on it for about 10 minutes, and I have heard of that name, and I can't remember what it's called. And you get to the place very quickly, but it could have took 10 minutes, but very, very quickly. At what point do people think you're nuts? Every point, but who cares? Who cares? Probably when you start talking about aliens, but who cares? And he said he went to wherever he was going, and there'd be people there to check you in and check you out, your retina and this, that and the other. And sometimes you had to follow like a rainbow sort of flooring system. Like you'd go, one area is yellow, so you'd follow the yellow line, and that'll take you where you're going. But there was lots of rooms in lots of other rooms, and that's where he'd have to go and dissect this tissue samples he was given. Hi. Yes, you can if you want to. And then, so sometimes he said it'd come in, it'd be like salmon, tissue. Oh, do you always hear Yoda? Yeah, Yoda said he watches. Graham's on here. Fingerprints of the Gods as a once superior race. Yes, I will get talking about that in a bit. You know, ancient bloody civilization or whatever you want to call it. Yes, Graham, it is very true. It's on the Q map as well, like I said before. Where is it? This bloody map. Bloody map. Right at the bottom, I know it's the wrong way around, we've got ancient alienos over here. I know it's the wrong way around. Anunnaki, crop circles, those who from heaven to earth came, because that's what people say. We'll talk about that in a bit. Crop circles, Draco reptilians, which I've just been watching again, reminds me of the film. Has anybody seen Jupiter Ascending? You want to go and watch that. Pleiadians, Lord Ashtar, Galactic Federation of Light, Ascendant Masters, which is quite funny because I do believe we are supposed to ascend, but we are kept down. So he's dissecting this, what do you call it? Salmon, and then it'd go on to different things. Then he started going, it's getting a bit weird now because this doesn't look like human skin tissue or whatever we were supposed to be dissecting. So, thank you, Tapper. By the way, if any trolls come in, because they probably will on this subject, we'll just ignore them or send them hearts because they're just looking for attention, as we know. And I'm not going to say anything to him this time. I'll just blip them off. So, yeah, sometimes it won't post notifications because that's what YouTube does, especially when you're probably on target with stuff. So he's dissecting this stuff and, you know, he starts getting different tissue samples. He reckons some of them were clones, as we know about the cloning thing, because we know they cloned the sheep and other things, so we know they've been trying to do stuff. We know that. If you don't, then, you know, it's all right to clone a sheep. You know they've been cloning other things. And he said also maybe cloned any aliens that might have come here that might have died trying to reproduce that sort of alien body. Yeah, Jupiter Ascending, looking like the real thing. Exactly, Draco reptilians are in there. So, in the end, he found it very fascinating. Oh, yeah, the fact, well, it's a bit too late to be scared. Oh, yeah, Daddy Dragon, because I remember you and Torino and that, and was it just, I can't remember, we're talking about the alien thing and the map, you know, of the real Earth, and I will go into all this. I'm just going to get this story out first and then remind me about that because they're scared, but we're all finding out. Everyone seems to be finding out, and they can't keep secret anymore. It doesn't matter what they do anymore. Everyone is getting on the choo-choo train of the alien conspiracy. So he decided in the end, it was very fascinating, obviously, to be in that job, even though he wasn't allowed to let some of the stuff out while he was working there. So I will jump into chat in a bit. So, but he decided near the end he wanted to get out because, yeah, the world underground, exactly, as above, so below. We're in the middle. He realised that some of the bodies that were coming, he said it started on tissue, then it was a hand, and then it was half a body, and then it came to a full body over the space of so many years. So, thank you. So, what happened was, he said, you can go and watch this, you know, on Gaia and different alien conspiracy videos out there, is, he decided that some of the bodies started coming warm, even the alien bodies, and he just said it didn't feel right. It wasn't morally right that they'd made these, even if they were clone or real, and you know, sort of, I know, I'm on Patriot Soapbox, didn't want to do that anymore because he thought it was wrong, which it is, because it doesn't matter if it's not human, if it's something else, it's still the same as killing something. So he didn't want to do that. So I will jump in chat when I've got this story out. So he left, and he's decided to bring the truth out because of a lot of military people are, because obviously it's coming out anyway, and actually it needs to come out, and I believe that these ancient races, aliens, whatever you want to call them, want the truth to come out as well because it needs to benefit everybody. My dad's sending me pictures of JFK Jr., I think, but I can't look right now. My dad will probably be on in a bit. So, Oh yeah, Assange did say something about intelligent evil dust. I did watch that, but I can't remember now. I've watched that much stuff. But well, I can't remember what I said his name was. His name Henry, I can't remember now. But yeah, he was just talking about all this amazing stuff. Oh, so he's talking about all this alien stuff that happened, you know, in these underground tunnels, which he also believed, and I've seen this on one of the channels before and thought, he is talking about that. He said the tunnels are made, you know, they tunnel these tunnels out, and the reason why people aren't finding out about it, and there's loads of them all under the earth, never mind what's up there, it's what's under the earth and in the sea, is they use a special machine. You know, we have a lot of technology in that we don't know about, that sort of how would you call it, like using it melts the rock around it and like sticks it to the walls in the tunnel shape, but it's all like sort of glass effect, like molten, you know, like melts it, if you know what I mean, as it's going. So it's sort of like, I don't know how it churns it out, but it's churning it out, and then behind it, it all just sticks it to the ceiling. So the tunnel's already made straight away, and there's no like earth coming out the top, so everyone can think, oh, you know, where's all this earth coming from? But he did say about Jupiter Ascending as well, or someone did that I was watching today, said the film Jupiter Ascending, he has pointy ears, and you know, Channing Tatum, who I used to like, that's their sort of satanical god they worship, done it? They're throwing it in there because they put it in films and have to talk truth. So he's got pointy ears in there. You've got the little greys in it that are supposed to work for the reptilian Draco, which that's what everyone's always said, and that is actually in that film. Yeah, deep underground military base, exactly. Those do sort of work for the Draco reptilian. The Draco reptilian are quite big in stance. If you watch that film, you're like, oh yeah. And there's lots of things going on in that film, like them women who come out the fluid and it makes them all young, because we all know what that is, and it's like more like human fluid stuff, you know, because we know about these vampiric sort of people who are going about doing nasty things to keep themselves young. It sounds mad, but that is what is happening, people. But yeah, yeah, I've heard about the blue. I can't say the word, like bird-like creatures. I think there's many. Yeah, Max Spires knew exactly, and then he died in 2016 with black goo coming out of him, black liquid fluid, which is rather odd. He was going to a sort of alien conspiracy space convention to talk about it in, was it Poland? And he was spewing up all this black goo and died. But he told his mother to sort of look into it and investigate. But in mainstream media, they put out that his mother said he was on drugs and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. But we all know the truth because they lie anyway. So, yeah, with the Max Spires thing, that's all mad. David Icke has all covered for years. Yeah, there was something about David Icke, though. Someone said today something about how he's got something a little bit mixed up, but yes, still the same. They say there's lots of races. Draco Reptilian probably look a bit more miserable than that, actually. Little greys, the manatee, large whites or something, Palladians. But I see Draco, they say, which are supposed to be the evilly ones. But this guy did say it doesn't necessarily mean that all evil. Maybe they might have been a bit more bad a bit ago. Yeah, maybe he did. Maybe we're all star people. Maybe we all came from somewhere. Got to remember. And he said because some of them, because they talk through telepathy and stuff like that, most of the ones that are 5D, working off vibrations, light and sound frequency, that Men in Black, that's what I said, Men in Black's nearer the truth, because the guy who worked there said the reptilians were more like, if they came to you, talking to you in a frequency, not through sound of you coming out your mouth talking, their face never changed. They don't they don't smile and stuff, so they'd just be like, and he said even if they were happy, you'd feel it. You wouldn't see it in their face, you'd feel it, because the face doesn't change. They had no like emotion in the face, but you'd feel it because that's what a frequency is. You feel it. And most of the 5D, most of the 5D, what do you call it, light beings, whatever you want to call them, are ETs, work off like telepathy, or is it telepathy? Yeah, telepathy. And it goes through your frequency. That's how they talk. And he said he was working there one day and he was working with a manatee-like ET, which he said they do look like giant manatees. He said, but they're very caring, they're very loving, but you'd look at them and probably think, oh my God, they're pretty scary. But he said, but they weren't. He said they were funny as well. They had a lot of humour. But he said, they know everything. You can't walk in. He said, you can't go in there when he was working with them because they were helping work with him. He said years ago, some of them might have been a bit bad and they might have fought a bit, you know, even with us, but they're working together now, different things, because they need stuff from the earth, like I said the other day. Earth is a jewel, with the resources and stuff. So he said one of the manatees that he was working with, he said they were funny to look at because, you know, well, they're different, and the hands do have them sort of hands like this. And he said, so they'd work very like this. He said, but if you went out drinking and you had a hangover, or you were trying to you were trying to you were thinking about something naughty or whatever, they would know, so they'd laugh. They would know you because they know your thoughts. So you had to go in there quite like clear of mind because they knew everything. So if you went out of the room, he said they would say something like, well, speaking through telepathy, oh, you have a good time tonight with blah blah, because they knew what you were thinking. But yeah, telepathy. So they work off frequencies. But there's this thing with, because I named it 3D, 4D, 5D, and maybe there's beyond. I believe we're 3D, we're here. I believe there's a fourth that's inner Earth, and then there's the fifth that's extraterrestrial up above, different dimensions, and many, many more within those dimensions. Hi. So we've heard about inner Earth. That's where Daddy Dragon said yes. Antarctica. There is a lost civilization down there. Yeah, there is cloning going on. There may be 11 dimensions. Exactly. There's dimensions in dimensions of dimensions. So I think it goes on. He also mentioned the other day that they don't see things in time or stuff like that. So you could have, reptilians were here before mankind. Yeah, I've heard that as well. It's just interesting to talk about. We need to know. And he said some can come, just a couple of them. And this guy said, why don't a lot come? He said some could be here in the size of a golf ball. Could be a whole civilization. And I thought, there we go again. What film does that remind you of, where a little galaxy or a civilization was in the size of a little ball round a dog's neck? Men in Black. Exactly. What he said was like the Men in Black film. The thing you travel on, the underground with all the different species down there, all getting on, but all the species. And what also were those species doing? Living on Earth, around Earth, but in disguise, you know. They even said, you know, the ones who said the fallen angels said they came on Earth and, you know, had children with humans. And then there's a thing of the giants with the red hair, the white skin in places in the Middle East and stuff like that. And they had children with humans, and that's how some of the DNA's got mixed up over time. So they may be human, but they've got mixed up DNA. There's all that sort of stuff. We only discovered Antarctica in the late 1800s, so how do we have maps? Exactly, because the maps aren't precise, are they, or what we've been told they are. With the absence of distance, time ceases to exist. My dad's on. Yep, so there's all that stuff. But he did go on a lot about how when he was there working with the ones that work through, because a lot do anyway, frequency, they don't talk like we do with our mouths. We're too noisy. They talk through telekinesis. So if you think about telekinesis, I will jump in chat in a minute. Well, telekinesis, 5D, spiritual, higher vibrating beings, because we're not high. They want us to be high, but we're not high. If you think about it, What did I write down? I was in the garden again writing stuff down. Telekinesis, telepathy is like, I've wrote this down, sort of as if they were speaking. I was sat in the garden again. Telekinesis is a language in 5D dimensions. This is what I've wrote down out of my head, so I'll just read it out. We feel through energies and light, sound, frequencies and vibrations. When you listen to a song on 3D, where we are, when we're listening to music, especially what those celebrities pump out, it's not the words of the song that really affects you. It's more that it's the frequency of the music, of the sound frequency. That's what affects us, really. And it's being played in the wrong frequency, people. So, yeah. We work off frequency, like AC/DC. Because if you think about it, if you took the words away off somebody's song, I know you read the words and you're like, oh yeah, this makes sense, but really it's not the words that affect you. You take them words out and you listen to that music, the beat, the frequency, it's what hits you, sort of thing, the frequency, the hertz of that song. So yeah, planet Earth rings like a bell, yes, because we all work off, the Earth works off frequencies, light, sound, vibrations. It's the vibrations. Doesn't mean because you can't see a frequency wave or whatever you want to call it, or a light wave. They are there. They are there. You can't see the air you breathe, but you know it's there. And that's how it affects us. And that's why a lot of music, that's why they play, that's why a lot of people look up to the celebrities, the singers, Jay-Z, Beyonce, and all those, you know, when you're like, woo, it's the music. Oh, and Jay-Z again. I talked about Jay-Z today, and I saw another lovely quote that he put up about, so let me see if I can find it. But you think about if you just had music and what affects you. When you're listening to it, it can make you emotional. Kanye West on Twitter today. Follow your heart, and because the thing is, the frequency of love is the highest, and that's what they work off. And the guy who I was talking about said the frequency they do work on is that they only know love, because if we worked in a frequency of love, which is what we're supposed to do, there would be no fighting, there would be no wars, because they say you would, telekinesis and the way they feel through vibrations and frequencies, sound and light, is you feel everything everybody else it feels, even in other dimensions. So if you hurt someone, you kill someone, you will feel it. And the best thing to feel is love, really. YouTube, JT Wild song, Where We Go One We Go All, great. Yeah, there's a new song out by JT Wild song on YouTube, Where We Go One We Go All. Is you wouldn't do these things because you can feel it. You can feel all the sorrow in the world and all the love. So yeah, so Kanye put up, which I thought was quite good. Follow your, because it comes from your heart. You feel from your heart. They don't use language like us. They connect in a different way. They don't connect from here. They connect from here. It's a feeling. Like the guy said that I was talking about. When you show them love, if you were showing them love, you would think it, sort of. You would think it to them, but you project it. You feel it. That's how they feel it. There would be no wars, no violence if we all puffed. Even the Indians in America smoke. Yeah. So Kanye said, follow your heart and stop following your mind, which I've just said. That's how we're controlled. That's how we're programmed. If you want the world to move forward, try love. Well, there it is. Kanye knows. That's it. I'll read that again one more time. Aliens. Follow your heart. Vibrations and frequencies, we're talking about stuff like that. Follow your heart and stop following your mind, because they do it from the heart. That's how we're controlled. That's how we're programmed. If you want the world to move forward, try love. Get over on Twitter to Kanye and follow him. Kanye's escaped, moved on, got out of the MK Ultra mode control. That's why they didn't like him. So, yeah. So that's all good. But that's what the guy said about feeling it. It's a feeling. The way they work on us here on 3D Earth is they work through our mind. It's mind control. It's mental. It's mind control. As we've said before, we know about the TV, computers, everything. What you see, what they're pumping out to us affects how our mind thinks about certain things. That's why half of the Democrats in America are thinking Trump's a bad thing, this, that and the other, because they're too busy watching mainstream media, letting it affect their mind, and they're not following their heart. Some aliens are afraid of Jesus. Well, that goes into the other story of Prometheus and the ancient aliens and Antarctica and the things that everyone talks about, like ancient lost civilization. Is, did we actually come from something else? You know, it's alright if you don't think this. I'm not booting religion. I'm not religious, but I believe in a source. Is so don't go. Is, did we come from something else? Which a creator could have been something else. It doesn't necessarily mean it was a man with a white beard sat in a cloud. Steve, just stay and listen and you'll find out. If you know what I mean. And I believe there was ancient civilizations before. It makes me think of the film Fifth Element. That had a lot of like Egyptian symbolism in it and this, that and the other. They say the aliens may have fallen from heaven. Yes, I saw that today because like on the Q map it says ancient aliens, Anunnaki, those who from heaven fell. Now, if you think about it, I'm just saying, so don't get upset, people of religion. It doesn't matter. We're just having a discussion. Years back, thousands of years back or whatever, you're there, you know, never seen a spaceship or anything, whatever it is. This thing falls from the heavens. Ooh, what's that? Well, it must be the fallen angels. Is that how they'd see it? They fell from the sky, so they must be aliens. Think about it, we're always told about, you know, the angels and the demons and the aliens, the angels that fell from heaven. But what if that's high? But what if that's just what we were told because that's what you read in certain books? But what if they actually were aliens, as in they would be alien to us, ancient civilization or whatever, because we've not seen them before and they don't look like us. So therefore they're alien because they're alien to us. But apparently we have their DNA because we were made from those ancient civilizations or come from down the line of those ancient civilizations. So therefore they're saying, like, even, you know, Christ, whatever, we come from one. We come from the creator, the source. We are all one. So if we're all one, even those beings of light beings or all these dimensions with different beings in, we're spiritual beings, but we're in a fleshy machine. We're a spiritual being having a physical experience. That's what I believe in 3D. David Icke, yeah. So we are all one, even if they look different. They're just in a different dimension. Doesn't mean because we can't always see them that they're not there. You was from ancient race called Dolly Gorgeous. You never know. You never know. The Dolly race. But yeah, I just think, also saw it on a video today, but I have talked about this before. Trump's uncle, the Tesla connection. Also, the connection to Tesla is also Maria Orsic, I think it is, who was Yugoslavian, disappeared in 1945, was to do with the Vril Society, Order of the Black Sun. Beautiful lady. I think Hitler was a bit obsessed with her. One consciousness was supposed to have been able to, Trump the time traveller was supposed to connect to extraterrestrials, where the Nazis and that were making the sort of technology of flying saucers, give them the technology. She was supposed to be in connection with them. She was the one who was supposed to have contacted, put the plan in for that, and they came. I don't know if that was in Antarctica too. So there's another one. Okay. Yeah, you can have one. Stop nicking them.
Yellow.
Yes. I've been down very many rabbit holes, but when you actually start looking, it starts making sense. Depends what you're watching and where you're going. Yes, like I said before, love is in reverse. It means evolve. So when they say they're from love and they work on love frequency, when you turn, I said this today, when you turn love around, it says evolve. It means evolve. We haven't evolved to that. As you can tell down here, we're all still fighting. We're all still arguing. People are trolling because people don't know the truth. Yeah, Elizabeth Christ Trump, POTUS's grandmother. Yeah, POTUS's grandmother was called Elizabeth Christ Trump. They're definitely from a bloodline. It's like made of waves, of particles. Photons is the way I have it. Yes, yes, yes. Light particles. It's all that frequency, light, sound, energy. And we're all made of that. All of us. Even the aliens. So we're all from one from all. We have discovered the ancient flooded underwater. Yeah, they go on about, oh, what's it called? The water, what's it called? Oh, what's it called? Atlantis. They put it in stories and bits of here and bits of there in the Bible and bits of this and bits of that, or in Greek mythology. And you actually, yeah, Atlantis, when you actually look into it, they're not stories. Where do stories come from? They come from parts of truth. We know there's bits in the Bible, but they've also took things out of the Bible. I'm not religious, but I've looked at the Bible. There's bits in there. They also want to cover stuff up as well and to make you steer you in a different direction. Like I said, what's under the Vatican people, because that is at the top of a lot of it. And when people go on about they came for gold, and then people say it wasn't the gold, it was the white dust of gold or whatever. Funny that I've seen a lot of people saying in America, you know, alien ships have crashed over there or landed because there was a lot of gold mines I've seen in, someone was saying, you know, in Ohio and that gold mines, and there's different stargates and stuff. It's quite interesting. Sorry, I was just looking at something. The Great Flood did happen. Well, apparently the Great Flood was to happen to get rid of some of the evil ones that weren't doing good. It's funny that you say that white people are aliens, because I heard something today where it said, and I'm just saying what someone said on YouTube, I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying before anyone gets offended, that I heard someone say people of Earth were darker, and then when the aliens came, they mated or whatever and mixed the DNA and mixed things up, and mixing the aliens with different races, they became lighter. So who knows? You know, they were mixing bits and bobs up. So yeah, interesting. I've also heard of the giants that had red hair and were very pale skinned, and I did hear a story about that a bit ago in, where was it, Iraq or somewhere, I don't know, with the military again, that they'd found one in a cave, but they'd killed it because they kill everything, don't they? Yes, maybe I'm an alien. Does it go off your eye colour as well? Which planet am I off? Same with many religions, unfortunately, social control for the reason. Yeah, and if you think about it, a lot of religions, when you look into them, have the same sort of storyline in it, but different name of the god or whatever, you know, whatever, because obviously there's truth in all of those religions. Red hair, pale skin sounds Celtic, yes, it does, but they reckon, yeah, there's loads of mad stories out there. Talking of aliens, Daddy Dragon, how's Daddy Dragon knows too much for one human being? Yeah, you're off some other planet, Planet Info. I did see though, Daddy Dragon. If it was Daddy Dragon, what was it on now when you were talking? You got near the end of what you were talking about, and you were talking about Antarctica. What's the big ice wall in Antarctica? Let's think of the film Game of Thrones. I mean, because it's a bit like this, isn't it? Game of Thrones. Jon Snow and, you know, winter's coming and that big ice wall. And then you get pictures, if you're looking into Antarctica on YouTube, of like the mountainsides with the funny little shapes in where it looks like flying saucers come out of. And I've seen the new post on JFK Jr. I've seen the documentaries on I've seen a lot of videos of people showing, you know, like Google Maps and that, of like funny little, they look like alien crafts all over the globe, in water, in the desert and all that sort of stuff. And the story I heard today was, if anyone's heard this one, which sounds a bit like Prometheus again, I will jump in chat in a minute, is Daddy Dragon gone? If he has, oh no, you're there. I'm like Dolly, I don't watch TV or listen to radio. No, not anymore. Was the story I heard today, which is like Prometheus, Ohio Giants, yeah, was there were, in caves or whatever, there were crystals, which now makes me think of Superman. A bit like, I've got crystals, what are them crystals called? Quartz, suspended, and these, what do they call that? These giant aliens would be sleeping in, like, cophosis, whatever they're called. And the people had to climb up to look down. Now, these people, these elites, they were, you know, secret societies, it was in Ohio. They went to have a look. And they tagged the walls as well, tagging the names. And guess what? Who was one of the person of these elites that tagged their names on this wall, where these alien giants were supposed to be sleeping, in these sort of acoustics, I can't even say what they are, was Abraham Lincoln. And he did mention in one of his speeches, apparently, about stuff, giants. Giants have been here before. Yeah. And it says that in the Bible as well, because they have. Maybe still are. And they said they were sleeping. Some of them were sleeping because they reckon that you could get in this little, let me see where it is, this little sort of time bubble they could get into, and it would, say you went asleep you decided to go in it for a week, that would be thousands of years. So they've done that to go to sleep, to come back at a point in time, which I believe is now, to help with what's going on. If you get what I mean. And then you think of sarcophagus. Yeah, I can't say it's sarcophagus. Then you think of the film Prometheus, because they found one in a I can't even say it. So yeah, it's getting a bit mad. But all these things are starting to like add up, and it's a bit like, because they say crystals hold information. Maybe that's what they use, because we plug our things in, but they're more advanced than us. So you know, no wonder people like collecting crystals like me. This is the desert, that is Antarctic cold. But yeah, I do believe there's inner Earth, our Earth, inner Earth, and as above, so below. 5D extraterrestrials. I think still a lot of them still work off telekinesis. That's why you can get a lot of thoughts, I think, put into your head about things, where you get people, I've seen them on YouTube, they're like, oh, I feel like I'm being told this and I'm writing all this stuff out, like I did the other week in the garden when I was talking about stuff, like I've just wrote that thing down about frequency, because I believe you can get messages. Gavin Giant read about yeah, I don't really know what's going on about that Gavin Giant. Not that I'm talking about that at the minute, but I did see Tan having a rant or something. I didn't really get it. Laugh out loud. Daddy Dragon Are you getting flashbacks? Flashbacks of what planet he comes off? You never know, people. Maybe Trump's off another planet. Maybe he's one of these, or he's getting help. I believe there is an alliance. Says it on the Q map. Like I said, Palladian guidance. Guidance. The Bible was guidance. Jesus' word was guidance. Where's my tinfoil hat? I was actually going to get my hat and put some tinfoil on it again and just wear it, you know, for the sake of just having a joke for people who come on. That would be explain the mushroom thing. What else was I saying? Yeah, I wrote down Earth is a jewel. Like I said the other day, they come to take. They need the resources like us, but resources, free energies, free energies. It's free to us all dimensions. But we know that our government and that keep it from us globally because they want us paying for it. But like I said, we shouldn't be paying. There was a thing I saw the other day, and I think it's really a really beautiful thing. And some people think it's going to think this is really whack, but it is sort of the way I see is how we should live. If anyone remembers me saying, yeah, it's there was a guy said in the end we'd work less and less, and maybe we'd only work. Can you imagine if you did this? Just imagine 3 hours a week, because you'd just put those 3 hours into something you were doing to help the community or whatever it was. But you'd spend a lot of time doing other things with your family and stuff, even if it was growing your own food and that. And in the end, we wouldn't need money, because we only need money because mostly we're paying for energy and stuff, and mostly we're paying to live on the planet, you know, in our houses and for the ground we live on and stuff, when actually it's free. It's just, we're just in a world where we're on earth that we're kept enslaved for paying for stuff that's free. We have free food, we could grow it ourselves. We could help each other with the time we had to build other people's houses. And then just the important things wouldn't be going to work for paying for electricity and stuff. Electricity in the air. Yeah, exactly. Tesla, you would be, yeah, we've got wind machines and all that. Well, you would be helping your community in your area, your town where you live. That's what you'd be doing. You'd be helping each other. If someone was good at, you know, knitting or making clothes, you know, people could, some of the work could be someone was, you know, getting a sheet to get the wool, and people would be knitting clothes for people. You just share things. You'd share your food. If you had too much food that you'd grown too many bloody cucumbers or something, you'd swap them cucumbers for something else. I know that sounds a bit old-fashioned, but in a way. Or basically you'd just be working a lot less and you wouldn't be paying for all the taxes and the free energy that we've got anyway. So you'd have a lot more time, like I said, to be creating for one another, being with your family and friends, and just living in, like, what would you say, heaven on earth. That's how it should be. Yeah, resource based on economy. Yeah, it's mad. Everything's free, but those who've been in charge tax us on everything, really, don't they? So it would be nice. I think it'll get there one day. Free energy's coming. It will be coming. And Tesla, yeah, like I said, Tesla, Donald Trump's uncle, he had free energy. Didn't want that getting out, did they? They didn't want that getting out because, oh no, they want us paying for it. They've probably got all their free energy. That's why half of them are rich and we're all there struggling. Yeah, I never went on Twitter till, you know, all this sort of stuff dropped with the Q train. But yeah, like I said, Joe M on Twitter has started twittering about JFK Jr. now. I don't think Nazis are on the moon, but they may be at Antarctica. Yeah, because Antarctica is where Hitler went, and that Maria Orchix, or whatever her name was, she was there. Egypt there. Don't know if you've heard about the JFK Jr. thing, Daddy Dragon. Did you see the last rally? He was there. Maybe he's been down Antarctica. I'm getting so freaking excited, wondering how the reveal is going to come out of JFK Jr. I know. the broadcasts. It's just getting more obvious and obvious every frigging rally he's at. It's like, could you be more obvious? It's hilarious. Oh my God. Have you seen him, Daddy? Because I know they don't talk about it on Soapbox for some reason. I think it's because they're more of a news channel. Don't know why they won't talk about it. I've been shouting it out for months. And then he started ignoring me when I was typing it to him. That's what I believe anyway, that maybe they, just in case it's not real, you know. JFK Jr., you know, they want to be seen more serious. I don't know. Oh my God. He's just everywhere. Trump has put a pledge in to go to the moon again, yeah. It's just so exciting. Beam me up, Scotty. I want to go and... I told you months ago, I'm going to have to try this again because I don't even know how I did it or, like, when Mum was down a few months ago, she wears me out in the brain totally because she's got OCD. So we went to bed. She's on the floor on this camp bed thing. I'm in bed, really tired. And I was like, tired but awake because I felt so relaxed that I'd ever felt for ages. And I closed my eyes. You know when you can... I know this sounds weird, but you know when you close your eyes but you can see the dark when your eyes are closed, your eyelids. And I was very deep breathing, half asleep and half awake. Like I was so relaxed, but I knew I was awake. I never mentioned, JFK mentioned, I'll do a show about it if you want. You can. Yeah, I'd have to get all my stuff together because I did it on Gran Torino's a few months ago. And I'm sure it was that, like, what's it called? When you... I just felt like I was going down a tunnel. I could see loads of lights like this, all different colours, like electric, going round in a wormhole. And then I looked out to the side, and it's what I assumed was Earth, but it was all beaming, bright light, and like a new Earth. And it was just full of vegetation. And I was like, oh, yeah, astral projection, yeah. And I was like, oh. And then I woke up. And then I told my mum in the morning, I was like, God, I was so relaxed last night. I felt like I was going down a wormhole. And I was smiling. I could feel myself smiling. And my mum was like, I felt really relaxed last night as well, like really relaxed. And she never sleeps. She's never relaxed. She has a pain in the back and that. And she said, I don't know if she was because she was getting the vibes off me. She was on the floor. But she said, I felt like that as well. I felt really, really relaxed. Just really like, you know, like you're sinking into your bed and your bed's so soft. And yeah, gonna have to try it again, people. Yeah, I did do a JFK Jr. thing on Gran Torino's channel with all the sort of the Vincent Fosca stuff. I was in a coma and died, saw the white light, spoke to God and my mum, who died a year before. God let me come back. Ah. Was it that? Like telekinesis? That's what I mean. Some people can, like... Some people can believe in conspiracy theories, you know, the alien ones. They can believe in that, but they can't get the red bell that JFK Jr. might have faked his death. And why he would have done it. This is what I keep saying. And why would the reason that he did it. The Greys were mentioned in that thing that I always read out. The Greys were mentioned. Oh yeah, General Flynn's eagle. I didn't get it at first because I couldn't see it because I know the photograph wasn't brilliant. But someone has twittered, General Flynn's eagle has hidden pictures or something, images in the picture. This was once said on a Q drop ages ago about hidden pictures and things that, you know, people can hide in pictures and you have to be looking at it a certain way or put something over it. And apparently it was something to do with JFK Jr.'s wedding pictures. Yeah, basically JFK Jr., sorry, wedding pictures, JFK Jr. things again. So it's coming out, people. Yeah, I saw a bit of it, but the picture wasn't very good. Oh, you could see Donald Trump's eye in the picture. Yeah, I couldn't see it properly on the picture I was looking at. So, yeah. Yeah, Mona Lisa has a... I've heard about the Mona Lisa. Flynn said we were... Yes, Flynn did say we were his digital army. We are his digital army. If anyone doesn't know what that meant, it meant us lot. Everyone that's trying to put info out there on all your platforms, you know, Twitter, whatever, digital army. People are throwing it out there. I believe Jackie gave the tapes to John. That's what I mean. John has grown up knowing everything and knew if he ran for Senate, he knew what had happened. He only had to look back at his family and his father. And when you go and read Red October, yep. What is it? I haven't been looking at them. Q2299 tonight, red equals 18 equals R equals JFK Jr. Whoop whoop. There's my dad, because R's JFK Jr. Whoop whoop. I think that's going to be my thing. And then I hear a whoop whoop. Oh my god. I forgot what I was saying then, Dad. Oh yeah, so if you, like I said, Behold the Pale Horse, you only have to read that book or listen to it on YouTube, and Kennedy's are mentioned in that as well. Kennedy knew. That's why his speech was along the lines of I'll smash the CIA or whoever it was into 1,000 pieces. And the reason why I think they're going to do a disclosure on ETs is because the world needs to know. We need to know the truth. You can't ascend, you can't evolve if you don't know the truth. It's going to be hard. Like I said, it's the tip of the iceberg. This isn't just to do with, like I said before, the Great Awakening isn't just all the paedophilia rings, Satanism, all this stuff that's coming out, world corruption, blah, blah, blah. It's also with the other stuff that's been hidden. Conspiracy no more. All conspiracies need to come out. It's going to be a brain ache for some people, but it's tough basically. That sounds harsh, but it's tough. We're only going to evolve more, and to get past these problems around the world with humanity, we need to know the truth. Behold the Pale Horse on order. Yeah, that'll blow your mind. Especially the silent war that's been going on since whenever, and when Hitler didn't die in World War II and went underground and then came out as corporations. And like I said, don't get mixed up with all the secret societies of bloodlines, because like I said, doesn't just mean because you were born in a bloodline that you have to be part of that bloodline. The Kennedy and Onassis is one of the 13th bloodlines apparently, but it doesn't mean that you have to carry on the traditions of maybe what they were. It's a bit like the alchemy thing. That scares people. Oh, it's witchcraft. Oh, it's this, that. No, there's good and the bad. It's how you use it. It's what person you are. It's what side of the light or the dark you stand on. If you stand in the light, you're going to use it for good. If you stand in the dark, you're not going to use it for good. Yin and yang, there will always be good and evil. But there's been too much evil about, and it's time now that the light one of good, of God, of source, of whatever you want to call it, people with morals and compassion and empathy, because empathy is one of the things they're trying to take away. These aliens said to this guy, the one I was watching on Gaia, they work off empathy. They are very sensitive. And people think that's a weakness. I'm a very sensitive person. That's why I can't watch the news and stuff. I can cry at the drop of a hat. They say, yeah, I can't say it, Celestine Prophecies is brilliant. You only have to look at your hand, you know, in a certain way, and you can see that light of energy around you, around plants and everything, because it's in everything. What was I saying then? I forgot what I was saying. Someone remind me. What was I saying? Oh, I'll probably miss some stuff. What was I just saying then? Yeah, Trumpet Wars was brilliant. Yeah, Kennedy was against them and he walked away from the bloodline. Exactly. I said today, you cannot choose what family you were born into, but you can choose to walk away. It might be hard when you're younger and you're a bit under control, but when you're of an age to try and walk away, you can do. That's what JFK Jr.'s dad did. And he wanted the stuff to come out to the world, but they didn't want it to. So they assassinated him. Yeah, you can see the light around your hand. If you look, it's like fuzzy. You can see energy energies around everything, especially if you sort of look in a certain way. But if you read that book, you'll know what I mean. And that is that energy. Everything holds energy, light, frequency, and sound. Animals, plants, and everything. So they say in certain lights, especially first thing in the morning, and when the sun's rising and going down, you can see 17 likes. You can see that energy force around you if you you look. The Irish carry the H2 gene, the gene of I am, to the red-handed. Well, my second name's Irish, and where my second name comes from, because it had the O knocked off, actually stands for, talking about red-haired people, sons of red eyebrows. So that's interesting with what I was sort of looking at today. It's all interesting. Yeah, Sinclair. Yeah, a lot of words. It's the way they spell it and everything. So maybe we all are aliens, and then the different backgrounds of where you come from is maybe the different star system that you come from. Let's just throw that one out there, because we are all star seeds, people. We are all made from stardust. Think of the film Stardust. Was that the film? And she came down and hit the ground as a human form, but she said she watches from above. Fifth element, probably light being, light being. Stars are actually moving light. If you've ever seen them when someone's sort of captured them, they move off frequency and sound. And when you do the Dr. Emoto, don't know if it's like the waters above, but they work off energies. I can't really explain it. I've explained it before. Water holds light and energy and frequency and sound. That's why when Dr. Emoto did the crystal test, when he froze water particles, and you project that energy onto it of love or whatever it is, they changed. I'll show you in a minute. Everyone asked that, and that's what's saying about a bit like telekinesis. And someone said, oh, they did the Dr. Emoto experiment, it didn't work. It does work, I've done it, but you've got to project it on. You can't just put, they say words change, but you've got to project on it. They just put the word love and hate on. No, you've got to hold that. I had rice, and it's got to be the same amount of rice, white rice, in the same Tupperware box, the same, weight and everything. I had two little boxes. One had love on, one had hate on. Every morning for just 60 seconds, I'd think it. You don't have to say it. You'd think it, project love on one of them. Loving thoughts, loving words. The one of hate, you put nasty stuff on that, say you're evil, you're ugly, Obama, I hate you, Hillary, because they're evil, aren't they? So project all that on it in a week or so. There's a video up of it somewhere, but you have to go way back. The love one got a little bit of mould in it, that was it, it stayed white. The one of hate was just covered in mould. So, yeah. It is my interpretation of Mother Earth. It's a woman, with a thing on, like your pineal gland sort of thing. It will have more on it, I've just not got round to getting it done. I keep forgetting it's there. Who did the song We Are Stardust? Crosby. I can't remember that song. Hi. The Fifth World. Yeah, so I believe maybe, I know there's different dimensions, there's a lot of them, but you've got it's getting warm now. You've got 3D where we are. Maybe the fourth is inner earth and the fifth is up above, and and I also heard this person was talking about, the film, this is going to make you laugh now, the film Ant-Man. I've not seen Ant-Man, but all these things they put out there in films. Ant-Man. This guy said there was ant beans as well, because obviously if there's what were they called? What's this one? Definitely gone straight out of my head now. Not a manatee. Did I say a manatee? What are they called? Mantis. Yeah, manatee. I don't know where I'm getting that from. If anyone's watching, they'll know. Yeah, a mantis being. They're supposed to be quite loving, actually. Locusts. Yeah, you would probably look at them and think they're not. But this guy said, the guy who's on the Gaia channel who works for military, he said, obviously looking at something that is alien to us or ugly or different looking, you would think, oh God, they're weird looking. But yeah, I've heard about that before. The orgon, is it energy? Yeah, grasshopper. You would think, oh, ooh, they're different. They're probably not loving. But imagine what we look like to them. You know, and a lot of them look the same. We don't really exactly do with all the stuff we do to ourselves today. mm. Grasshopper. Yeah, organ. And do you know what that reminds me of the I don't know if I'm saying it right. The organ energy is the film Toy Soldiers, Organs, the Organites. The Organites. Oh, there's just so many things in films out there where you just start thinking, oh my God, it's making sense. Yeah, we probably are food to some of them, but you see, some of this stuff they do put out there is not exactly the truth. Blue Avians. That reminds me of uh, Avatar, the film. Because they always perceive in films that, oh, they're there to kill us, they're there to eat us. Yeah, maybe some did, but I don't believe they're all like that because we're not all like that. If there's evil, there's good. Do you know what I mean? So, Bluebirds of Happiness. I see them as Avatar. Avatar. And I love that film, Avatar. And it just showed you what dickheads we are because we'd always go and destroy something. It's not necessarily them, is it? Because that's what they always predict in films, that they're coming to hurt us. But this guy said not necessarily. The reason why in the fifth dimension they're not coming to hurt us is because they're in the fifth dimension. They're way more mature than us. We're pathetic. We're proper mature. We're still fighting on Earth. We're still arguing over religion and fighting. They're not. They're past that because they've ascended. They're in the fifth dimension. They only work off love. They have a universal law. They say they have a universal law. They don't fight against each other on the fifth, because they have that law. They don't go around killing each other. They might have arguments and stuff like that, but they're not like us. We're quite immature to them. But the reason why they don't want the Earth destroying, like I said before, is because a lot of planets out there have been destroyed by the reptilians that have gone around taking resources. This is one of the, I don't know if it's the last, but there's a lot here for all the ETs in different dimensions. They come here for different things. So they need this Earth to survive. So I'm not necessarily saying we're that brilliant, but the Earth is. But then again, if we're descendants from way back with DNA of beings, we are all the same. We are all one. So the reason why the story goes, the reason why they'd be here to help and have started working with military and this, that, and the other for a very, very long time, and have always been here because there's ones on Earth from Middle Earth, is because it's because they will not allow us. So that's why they say there might be sleeping giants sleeping this and they're going to come back. It's because they can't have nuclear war going off. Now, who was going to set a nuclear war off? These ones that happened with, where was it, Japan or whatever, years back and all that, that destroyed some of their dimensions. They can't have that. It's like I said before, they may think we're significant to them because they're more matured and they're more higher up in vibrations with frequencies. We're not, because we're stuck here. It's like slave Earth because we're distracted by other stuff, material stuff. They're not. They're wanting to help us ascend though as well with our spiritual selves, but they cannot allow, even the ones that you might say are a bit badder than the goodies. Like, they're not all bad, but you know, if you want to put baddies and goodies, it will affect them as well. It affects all the dimensions. You've got like I said the other day, you've got like, I don't know, probably looks like a particle thing, whatever you call it. Like, say, I'm not saying this is what it looks like, but say like where, say that's Earth, and then you've got all these different dimension sort of planets going off, or what, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. If this little piece is taken out here, atomic bomb goes off or whatever and destroys this bit and that bit, then that bit will fall, that bit will fall, that bit will fall, that bit. It'll be like a domino effect. So they can't have that. That's one of the, I think the alliances wanted to help is you can't have them sort of nuclear wars. But the evil ones on this planet who don't care, the ones who were trying to nuke America and blame it on Russia, when we know a lot of things were to do with China as well, they can't have that. They can't have it. It can't happen because it'll destroy everything. And if they use things from Earth for different things, you know, biological stuff and all that, it will destroy everything and mutate things and kill animals off and things that they're looking at, plant life and that have DMTs and all this stuff and that we all have in us because we are all one and we are all the same and we all do come from energy and blah, 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 because everything is everything and everything is energy. It can't happen, people. You know? So, sleeping giants may rise and all this stuff. Yeah, silicone trees, yeah, Avatar, yeah. I've seen the silicone trees on Daydreamers because things were made more of silicone or whatever, however you say it, years back. That's why the skin was more shiny and all this sort of stuff that I've seen videos ages ago, you know, when you're looking at things thinking, oh, right, and then all of a sudden it starts making sense and you're like, oh my God. Aliens will not let a nuke war start. No, they won't let a nuke war start, as I said, because it can't. Not only will it destroy us, it'll destroy other dimensions, so it can't happen. But apparently they want us to know about them because they've always been here. They've always visited for eons. Some are here anyway. They live within the earth. There's many tunnels underneath the earth. There's many tunnels underneath England. There's many tunnels all over the countries underground. You know, probably how the trafficking stuff as well, but there's many civilizations underground, so they say, and that goes back to the ant ones, which apparently some were found dead. This guy was saying some were found dead from what happened years back when things happened, and I don't think they were alive, but there's just all this mad stuff. Q just gave out the number for the American Samaritans. Really? Why, he hasn't put the test out yet or anything. Do you think that's because he's starting to put stuff out? Because do you mean for something, or do you mean because... See, Trump has said, Trump has said they would have to put things out there, you know, like emergency services, because when stuff hits and people find out about certain stuff, suicide, yeah, people are... Is that what you're talking about? Do you mean disclosure? Because when this disclosure comes of a lot of stuff, even people finding out about, if they're a Democrat and they've been finding out what's going on, it's going to make them feel awful. But the disclosure is it's going to fry people's brains, people. That's why they're saying there's people out here talking about stuff, so you can feel you can come and talk to people that know, because we're trying to explain it to you, as wacky as that sounds. But keep out of the suicide hotline. Yeah, because mental problems for lots of normies. This is what I mean. I know this sounds bonkers. This, yeah, testing 1, 2, 3. This isn't just to do with what I'm talking about. Some people might find this wacky. I'm not bothered, you know, it's up to you what your opinion is on certain stuff. But all the stuff that's going to drop with Hillary Clinton, Obama, the act of war with the UK and Australia and Canada, all this stuff we know about, all the stuff people know about with even without Q, all the corruption. The normies who were sat in front of the telly, yeah, the ropes are coming. Can you imagine? Can you imagine somebody, you know, could be your friends, you've been trying to tell them but they just don't know. At least some people might have known what you were talking about, then they want to come to you and ask you. If you got the normies sat in front of the telly, believing everything they see on telly about wars and this, that and the other and blah, 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 can you imagine? Especially because I believe it's going to drop first in America and then come across the rest of the world. Can you imagine some sort of testing thingy on TV, what do you call it, when they break into it, and showing you the whole truth and showing you every disclosure of everything? You used to be a Samaritan. And can you imagine? I mean, what? No, I'm not basic, I don't think. Do you think the test will be a test? It may. Yeah, I don't think it'll be a test. I think it'll be the disclosure, unless they do the test to make sure it's definitely working and then the disclosure? Or is it just going to be the disclosure? Can you imagine? Just imagine for 1 minute, Normie sat there, I'm having my tea, watching the news. Next minute, disruption, test. This is the voice of the Mr. Onsmona joke, and this is the voice of the president, blah, blah, blah. Puts all this stuff out, disclosure. And it needs to come out because it's getting too stupid now. What? Can you imagine? Can you imagine how people, they're just, what's it called? Discognitive, like, they're going to stop working, aren't they? Test is a test, he will not case a scare. Buy some gold. What do you mean buy some gold, Dad? I ain't got any gold. Only half a minute, but it can kind of show which part of the USA it comes from by the delay. Cognitive dissonance. I can't say it. I'm a bit dyslexic. Yeah, definitely. Do recall what was being pushed in religious class back in school. I don't know. I didn't listen to religious class at school. Sorry. Good night, everyone. Early start night, Stephen. Is it Stephen? Sorry, I didn't see the name. Cognitive dissonance. Yeah. Cloning going on. Yeah. Well, can you imagine? Let's have a look. Let's just talk about all these conspiracy theories. You know, if people don't believe it, you got the cloning, the aliens, this, that, and the other. Can you just imagine that being dropped and people being like, you know? We already had War of the World on radio. That scared people to death. Exactly. But if you think about it, they always put films out that are always showing aliens in a bad light. It doesn't necessarily mean they are. I'm not saying some aren't, but like I said, the Earth is pretty important. It's always been made out that our Earth is not that important to all the other solar systems, star systems, or whatever out there. But it is. It is. It's a jewel. That's what they've said. It's a jewel. Clone dinosaurs. What, as in reptilians? Yeah, I reckon they've done. This guy said who worked for the military said there was ETs, but they also cloned ETs and destroyed them as well, which I just don't think that's playing God to me. That is playing God, a bit like Prometheus again when he ripped that robot's head off. It's like that the old guy in it, the elite, the honourable guy that was trying to live forever. Prometheus, you only want to look at that film. He didn't like it, the Prometheus guy, because he was a creator. That to me is, even if you're doing that, you're cloning people. Or I mean, yeah, maybe we know they do all that cloning like organs to help people. But if they're cloning people to just clone people for armies, whatever that is, I don't think that's right. That's like you're playing God. We weren't here to create that. We were here to create other things, but I don't think we were here to create that. Things to help, but not to create, to destroy, because like the guy said in the military when he was dissecting some stuff, he knew that some had been cloned and then obviously killed to dissect to looking at things in the tissues and how they work. And then he said some were ETs that were warm, so he knew that they'd just been killed, which that's awful too. 55,000 sealed indictments, lots for MS-13 to be jailed. Exactly. Yeah. They have been telling us about cloning for years. Remember Dolly the sheep? Dolly the sheep. I know, it's called Dolly. Yeah, that's what I mean. So people can't sit there and say, oh, it's not real, you know, because they did clone the sheep, Dolly. And they did tell us about that. So you think that, they've only just cloned that sheep? No, they would have done it ages ago. If they cloned a sheep and pretending they've only just cloned it then, which is a pack of lies, because they would have cloned way before. It makes you think about that film, Have They Cloned Armies and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? They've been cloning. And then you think of the film again, Jupiter Ascending. Yes. You go and watch all these films now and you're like, oh my God, what's going on there? But who conspired to let them in? Let who in? What are we talking about? Oh, what? Life magazine, 1960s, full page spread on cloning. That's what I mean. They give it us. They say the rule of law is the galactic, whatever you want to call it, a rule is they've got to tell the truth. So these goes for the elites as well. So they put it out in film. So when you watch a film like Jupiter Ascending and all these sort of like Alien, Prometheus, they stick it out there. It might be twisted, but they stick it out there in films because then it's like they've told you the truth, so they can carry on doing what they're doing because they've told us the truth. It's like that. What's the film where they go in Inner Earth? Is that called Inner Earth? Or I think it's got a funny guy in it where they go in and it's all like that sort of stuff. Where they go in. Stem cell regeneration is not allowed for the general public. The reason is the general impact is complete. Yeah, there's just loads of mad things out there they've been doing. Baker Mayfield doing quite well so far. Whoever heard that name, Baker Mayfield? That name's ringing a bell. Making 6 figures a year, I would say so. Baker. Who's Baker Mayfield? Why have I heard that name? Why is it ringing a bell? Who is it? They have taught us how not to read and how not to hear. Exactly. Now I take notes. Exactly. You take notes on stuff they talk about because you just sit there going, oh, it's only a film. I've just been to pictures to watch flipping Galaxy. What is it called? What's that film called? Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, yeah. Think of that one. Oh, well, it's not real because it's only a film. Okay. I know there's someone here called Coach Andy or something. I can't understand what you're saying because it's not in English. So you could be trolling. I don't know if you are. Oh, well, and if you're not, brilliant. But I don't know what you're saying. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh. Baker Mayfield the goat. I thought you didn't like me before. Okay. We like you then as well. I thought you didn't before. How best to hold information archive. Yeah. Dolly loves Thor. I do love Thor. And now I did hear the story. I forgot. Someone did remind me. Valiant Thor was a guy who I do not understand dimensions very well. Yeah, it's a bit mad. It's just like other worlds that you can't see doesn't mean they're not there. Different dimensions. Like, think of the spirit world. You can feel something's there. You can't always see it. Like dogs hear, you know, the dog whistles, the animal whistles. They hear it, but we don't because they can see. They work off a different frequency. It's about frequencies. If frequencies are changed a little bit, no, I'm not religious. If frequencies are changed a little bit, we would see other things. But it doesn't mean they're not there. We just can't see or hear it. If we're tuning in on the right frequency, that's why some people start channeling different things. That's where your thought comes in sometimes. When you get thoughts about stuff, sometimes it's not you, it's something channeling. No, I'm not religious, but I believe in a creator source. You could call it God source. And it's within you as well, because we are all from one. Wherever you are around the world, whatever religion you are, whatever race you are, we are all from one. Skin colour, everything, we're all from one. Luciferians want a second son. Yeah, oof, they want a lot. They wanted one religion, didn't they? People can't just work off being, like, under control. Well, we have been, and some people are still asleep to it. Listen to the names, think... Oh yeah, sorry, someone did say that about the fedora hat being it was called a Kavanaugh hat or something, was it? Yeah. It's getting mad. A day with Thor or Trump. Oh well. Can I not do half and half? Oh, but yeah, so I did hear. Yeah, universal energy, but we are all from an energy and we are all made from energy, so that's how I see it anyway, you know, whatever. Yeah, DNA. The story, I don't know if anyone's come across the story, Valiant Thor, which was a big guy, blonde hair, sort of Thor looking, Valiant Thor he was called, that came, I think he'd met military, and apparently still here because they live a lot longer. And I was like, I've heard that. So when you think of mythical stories, especially, you know, from the Greek myths, they're not myths, the stories that have been passed, a myth is a story that's been passed down from generation to generation. Gets a bit twisted, doesn't it? So it doesn't mean it's not true. It's just been passed down as a story. Where they all come from, like Egypt and all that sort of stuff, the hidden energies, the hidden ancient texts and ancient civilizations. And you know the one we all look to is from Carbon and stuff. Yeah, is Antarctica. Because all the elites go down there. I've also heard the story maybe they're looking at the lost civilizations. They're looking at that Prometheus thing where the giants are supposed to be asleep down there, or they're showing them new technology, or they're showing them this, or they're showing them that. There's something going on. Mark the Judge and Speak Blah answered JFK Fedora. Really after Donald said claims before the Stormy Daniels. I don't sort of get that. Stormy Daniels, yes. But it's interesting, people. It's interesting, but we definitely do work off frequencies. Energy. Thor came with an offer, powers that be refused his offer. Powers that be refused his offer. There's loads of crazy crap out there. Do you know what I mean? Well, it's not actually crap, but I just think it's an exciting time to be alive. Yes, I am. An exciting time to be alive, the Great Awakening. And it's massive. It's not just to do with one thing, it's to do with a lot. We are getting light bodies like Christ. Just go see. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying about ascension, light bodies. We are fifth dimensional light bodies. That's why I said the more mature than us, they don't fight and stuff like that because they know they work off frequencies. They just don't do what we do because we're quite immature in the way we are down here. We're still fighting. We shouldn't be fighting. We should be ascending. But the reason why we haven't ascended is because the powers that be here, the elites and stuff like that, with the knowledge that we should know that they know that they've kept from us in secret societies and blah, 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 are keeping us from it because they keep us, divided with, like I said, the race wars, the religion wars, the men and women wars at the minute, all that sort of stuff. And they keep us distracted with shiny toys like computers, phones, the TV, pumping out stuff and programs that you're watching and dulling you down and dumbing you down with stuff and materialistic things. That's what I was saying on the other video that I did today, the ego, the false ego that wants. It's not what you want. You should only really need things. When you need something, that's good. When you're just wanting all the time and following the stars, not the stars up above that we should be looking at now and again because we don't look up that much, but you're following the stars of celebrities and stuff like that who are pumping all this stuff out to you, and people get obsessed with those stars and celebrities and believe everything they say. I don't feel sorry, and stuff like that. So yeah, who wants to be tied down at the minute with someone who I used to be with that doesn't, wants to be in all them sort of things that keep you down? These things that I hear, like big drinkers and stuff like that, that just, medication and stuff like that, that keeps you downtrodden and ill and stuff like that. And who cares? Yeah. I don't feel sorry for myself. Feel kind of funny for the Labour classes themselves to the centre left when it is used to be. Used to be the other way around, yeah. I know. FBI investigation on Cav will backfire big time. Of course it will. They've said, haven't they, that some Dems are going to vote yes because they're seeing what's happening. Breaking, Grace League pursues accuser, should face 10 years. Ooh, 10 years in prison. Hollywood, adrenochrome. Yep, we know about the adrenochrome in Hollywood. It's disgusting. Do you know when people talk about money, 6 figures a year, that's the ego thing again. That doesn't mean anything. These people who are celebrities over in Hollywood who have adrenochrome and stuff like that, who got greedy with money, for money, not into all that. I'm not saying it's not good, but it depends what you're doing with it at the end of the day as well. That doesn't interest me. Ah. If you made a lot of money, no, ego has nothing to do with it. I'm just saying if you made a lot of money, you wouldn't have a reason to be mad. Mad at what? Mad at what? Wouldn't be mad at what? Don't understand what you're saying. That's good, I'm skin. Mad at what? I don't know what you're going on about. No one's mentioned money. When I was talking about the ego before, I was talking about dropping the false ego. When people care too much about what other people think of them. So if they think something, like they might think it's a bit wacky what I'm talking about, they're too scared to talk about it because they think, you know, they're too bothered about what other people will think of them. Like what the friends will think or the family will think, when it's like, who cares? You know, they can think what they want to think and you can think what you want to think. And you don't, things are projected out there for you to consume and buy all the time. Like, oh, I've got to buy this, I've got to buy that. I want this because I want to keep up with the Joneses and I want to look good with everybody else and I want to have that and I want to have a brand new car and I want this and I want that. And then you keep going and you keep going and you never get out of that cycle of wanting and wanting and wanting when you don't really want it. You only want it because everyone else has got it. It's when you need something, like you might need a new coat, you need one because your other one's got holes in and you're getting cold, so you need a new coat, not just because it's just come out in fashion and you just want it because you want it because you want to be in fashion and be the same as everyone else, like a sheep. Don't really care. Not really bothered. When you drop that thing of not caring what other people think, you can get on with your life and you're a little bit freer. That's a bit like ascension as well at the end of the day. Yeah, all you need is love, definitely. That's what they work off. It's a love frequency. That's why they say they're more mature than us because we're still fighting about stupid things. Yeah. It's like what kids do, innit? They're afraid because they want to be in fashion, you know, and that's just all they are. And then you grow up and realise it's not all about that. It's not all about being in fashion and having to have that thing or labels. Because let's face it, people, labels. What, like Nike? And the CEO's got pictures of what for Nike and all the money they're making, the paedophile. Oh, yeah. So who's bothered about that? Yeah, money doesn't work on this channel. Like, if a lot of people are into what I'm into, that doesn't really bother us. I don't know what the point in bringing money up is. We're not talking about money. That's brilliant. Doesn't interest me. But yeah. Yeah, it's just like, that's the whole reason why the world's in a mess, is money. We don't need money. Like I said before, at the story I was saying before, we don't actually need money. Just ignore him. No one's talking about money. So, yeah. What if Daddy Dragon's still here? What was that talk you were doing with Gran Torino that time when you was it with who else were you talking with? Yeah, it is. Who else were you talking with when you started talking at the end about Antarctica and the map? Because in one of the Q drops, I don't know when it was, there was a picture of, I think it was a Q drop, JFK in a military, I don't know if it was in an airplane or something, and on the back of the wall, you know, in America you have that, oh, what is it? Crest thing, I don't know what it is. This symbol, you know, there's the world. And then you've got the what is it? The things going up the side, and uh, and there was like another piece of a bit of a land here and land there that isn't shown on the actual world map. And it's like I said, why is there always Gran Torino SGT report? Yeah, that was it. And there's always like ice, obviously covering when NASA take a picture of Antarctica and all that, so you can't see what's going on. Black Mirror put up. Black Mirror what? Black Mirror put vid up of you, Dolly Doji. Oh, did they? Oh, I'll have to look. I didn't know. Yeah, I said they can use mad. Oh, it don't bother me. They can put up what they want. Thank you anyway, Black Mirror. I'll check it out and leave a comment. I didn't know. Which one? Me being a nutcase. Which one was it? Oh, I feel embarrassed now. Yeah. Yeah, money is easier. But it's only easier because that's what we have to use, really. We don't. It'd be great if we didn't. Or the fact that when free energy comes out, we don't have to pay for certain things, and taxes are thinking that more people who are on less money will have more money and will be a bit more equal. There's no reason, like I said, in the world for people to have so much money. Like, I'm not talking about you, but these celebrities that earn millions and billions that are not helping humanity. They make out they are and they're not. What do you need all that money for? If you've got money, brilliant. Can you give it back to humanity as well in a certain way of helping people? Or do you know what I mean? You can give the love back through it. The love of money is the root of all evil. Exactly. Yeah, the love of money is the root of all evil. If you have money, if I had a lot of money, if I had money like them, I would want to put it back in something like some of these places where they try and help people through certain ways of helping people. Sometimes I believe some people are not. They're just throwing meds at them to just sort of mask the help that they need. There's so much people could do. If I had money like that, I would be trying to give something back of I don't know, I'd come up with something. Do you know what I mean? So there's ways you can help. So I understand with the money situation of that thing that we work off that, but there are greedy people out there. I'm not saying you are, but there are greedy people out there. Would you buy a Daddy Dragon a bit? Yeah. If I had that much money, I would put stuff back. These elites and these celebrities go on about stuff sometimes like, oh, we need to be giving money here, and we've had these disasters in America. Like Brad Pitt did something once, but he didn't actually. It was just for show, you know, because they don't put the money where the mouth is. It's like, you do it then. You let these people into your home then. You give them a bed in your house because you seem to live in these massive mansions. You've got acres of land, so why don't you do something? Oh, but they won't, will they? Yeah. Keep putting your money up. I don't know what you're waffling on about. Years ago, people traded each other for goods and so. Well, yeah. But you see, these days, there's just so much you could do. Oh my God, that was hilarious. The Kavanaugh with the beer thing, that was absolutely. I mean, are these people stupid? As Q keeps saying, yes, they are. You sit there in court and all you can come up with. Oh, trolls alike. All you can come up with is, did you drink beer when you were at college? Did you drink beer when you were at college? Oh, did you black out when you were at college? Did you drink beer? It's like, when people were at college or that sort of age, of course people went and had a drink. Like, what are you trying to say? And when he turned around and went, did you drink beer? Did you black out? Do you remember? I thought, is that all they can come back with? Exactly. Is that all they can come back with? And then did you see the one where he said something about that word and he said it meant flatulence and they were like trying to make out it made something else? I was like, oh my God. This is all they've got on him. This is all they've got on him. You are absolutely pathetic. Oh my God. And everyone was saying, weren't they, in the chat on the live when I watched, they were all like, yeah, let's have a beer. I was putting the beer pictures up. I was like, oh God. Yeah, just ignore him. Someone with their ego who makes money. Bothered. Yeah, the flatulence when he was a 16-year-old boy. Oh my God. You know, writing daft things out like that you would in your diary, writing daft things out at that age, you know, flatulence of whatever word he put down. And they're trying to make out it made something like it was like a name for rape or something pathetic. It was either these people are stupid. This is why the Democrats will start voting yes, because they're seeing what these people are doing. All they did was cry about the FBI, cry, oh, do this. You turn round and tell Donald Trump to get it. Oh, God, shut up, you big crybabies. Let's drink more beer. Let's drink more beer. Oh, my God. He won't forget this. That's why they know what they did to him, what they're saying about him. When he gets in, that hammer's coming down. Oh, I always get one on here. Or two. It's not too bad. I tell you what, Daddy Dragon, though, I keep getting. It'll go, when it starts coming up, when people come on, it'll go to 17, then it'll go to 18, and then it'll move up. And I keep seeing 17 everywhere, it's mad. Oh, brilliant. Lovely jubbly. Has anyone got their opinions on the frequency thing anyway? FBI investigation will be their downfall. Trust the plan. I've trusted the plan all along. You know, people get very fed up with stuff. You know, and I can talk about this because it's the same thing as aliens. People get very fed up following Q because we always get this bit of like, we're waiting or something's been slowing it down, but that's because they throw a cog in the works. But we know it's all planned out anyway. It's on the Q clock. They just make them look more silly and let them dig the holes bigger for themselves. Yeah, I've just thinking. I meant opinions on frequency. Yeah. Yeah, I'm skint, but you know, it's not all about the money. Who did the drawing behind me? That one's a painting with acrylic because I've just tried to start painting acrylic and it's a bit naff. And then that one over there is the one I did after that one. I'm getting better at the acrylics, but they're just testers. I am about to try and do another big one, and the picture will be not like this, but I was trying to draw out a sketchy things, holding a heart thing. I don't know. The mind started being fed the change that's coming in their reality. Well, they keep going on about the shift, the dimensional shift, which I believe we're in. Read the book Going Broke for John Rothschild. What? Well, yeah. Ugh, Rothschilds. Mind you, I heard the Rothschilds were supposed to have got into the crown, and that's why some of the Rothschilds have got those people into the royalty. Yeah, or whatever I was looking at the other day. I was like, wouldn't surprise me. Like Princess Diana, apparently. Something like that. DC's all around you. Do you mean the current, or do you mean diamond? What was that? What was that all about? Pedo Wood, yeah, current. AC, DC, yeah. Was AC Tesla and DC was Edison? Edison's was bad, wasn't it? Something like that. Or the way you use it, or whatever, or the way it's converted. But he did electrocute an elephant, which wasn't very nice. Hang on a minute. Here's one for you, Daddy Dragon. Q-Post red. Yeah, reminds me of Red October. Obama Bono. I don't know. What do you all reckon this alien disclosure, is just going to drop? Or I think that's what they've been preparing us for ages, really. Edison was a globalist. Yep. Look at my son's keyring. Star Wars. I said to him today, he does anyway, I said, do you believe in aliens? He went, yeah, because he loves Doctor Who. And he went, yes, Mum, what are you saying that for? Do you know what I didn't realise? What? Oh, no, it's not. Thought it had something like that. I'd not realised. I thought it was a bumblebee. Oh, Morgan, yeah, I heard about Morgan. The two horrible things that stood in Rothschild's way were the Delaware anti-takeover statue and Donald Trump and Mel Simmons of TX held Rothschilds back from killing entire US well, yeah, you know, the Rothschilds and the bloody Federal Reserve and everything. Doctor Who's big day started in my city. Oh, Doctor Who, doesn't that come on next week? Because my son said, do you want to watch Doctor Who with me next week? And I was like, why is it back on? Or this week, whenever it is. And I was like, yeah, okay then. I think of like the side, but was it what? Not the side bills, but the Daleks. I just think of things when you watch that now. Yeah, all you have been told is backwards when it comes to history. Exactly everything. There's a film called The Black Tower, isn't there? Well, that makes you think. What's on the oh, it's on the 7th. I'll have to watch it. Try eBay. What are you looking for? I told you about that book that I found. No, it wasn't a book that I found. It was something that I Googled the word reality backwards and a book came up and it was about a guy called, however it's spelled backwards, reality, was put into prison. Reality was put into prison. And fiction, the word fiction was written the other way around. And I thought, oh my God, that is really weird. I just went and Googled that because I just thought in my head, I'll just Google reality the wrong way around and see what comes up. And fiction was in control and reality was coming out of prison and was coming back to take his throne. And I thought, how weird's that? It's not all weird, is it really? The world's a bloody bonkers place. It's just weird. Odd. Makes me laugh. Amazing time to be alive. Crazy. But so when Trump has put this, has Trump actually put that thing out then about what did I say it was? The Samaritans. Stretch Armstrong, God. I remember that. Diana was whacked. The royal wedding was a sham. Yeah, it was. Neither one was royal. 30 million on taxpayers' money spent on security. Exactly. And they moved the homeless that they put on the streets. Moved them, didn't they? Cleared them out of the way. So, I don't know. Mel Gibson. I don't think I've seen that film. Oh my God, I don't think I've seen it. Mel Gibson, Julie Roberts, 1997 movie called Conspiracy Theory. I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it. I'll have to look at it. Wonder if I can get it. Mel Gibson's brilliant. Mel Gibson is not one of them celebrities. That's why they made him out to be a drunk, made him out to be this, that and the other, tried to assassinate his character. His dad was a good guy as well. And he talks about it a lot now. That's why he brought out Passion of the Christ, because they don't like anything to do with like a God, you know, that belief or anything, do they? You know, wait till the world finds out what they have found in the Grand Canyon. What have they found in the Grand Canyon? It's not the thing that I've heard they found in the Grand Canyon, is it? Hi. Mind you, I've heard, is it alien or is it the giant thing, petrified giants, because I've heard all about that as well. Gold. Apparently, a funny thing I heard was if anyone's into the Egyptian and has anyone heard about the has anyone heard about the petrified giants, and that in their veins, I know this sounds really whack, is gold. So when you get veins of like in valleys where the gold is, they were veins or whatever of giants. Mel Gibson is far right. Just watch the videos that his daughter put up on the internet. I like Mel. I've always liked Mel, though. He sat there at one of the veins, gold veins. I told you it's in the name. I know. Probably same one. Oh yeah, Mad Max. I forgot what I was going to say then. Has anyone watched Daydreamers? Daydreamers. I know, I can't do it on my phone though. It's just that haters gonna hate. I say let them come in. They're gonna all look stupid very soon, aren't they? I just say it's because they don't understand. Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's far right either. They hate him. He was at one of the celebrity things ages ago, and they were all congratulating themselves with what's she called? Out of Devil Wears Prada, and he was just sat there like looking at him. He wasn't clapping, he wasn't smiling at them. They're all there like, oh yeah, and it was like, oh, because he knows what they are. Yeah, but it's cold now. It's cold coffee. Obviously, been sat here for ages. Also, Long Kiss Goodnight. Lots of conspiracy. Yeah, like I said, they put it out in films. It's illegal to display American film giant skeleton. Yeah, I've heard about giant skeleton remains. I've seen pictures of them on the internet. I've seen the Anunnaki ones that are supposed to be like the ones with the big long skulls. I've seen the big giants. I don't know. People just go, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, what? Look at the cities that are built upon body of giants. Yeah, I've been into all the I don't know if anyone's been into it. The petrified giants, and we build on the petrified giants, and some people say, oh, it's the wind and the water and it's made it look like this, that and the other, and it's like wind and rain wouldn't do that exact on the same side, and all these things are popping up, and it's like, oh my god, that looks like this. And even the way, like some people say, oh, the statues, the stuff that's running down and looks like blood, looks like where the blood vessels, like where the blood, it's amazing. And some stones have holes in, and it looks like your arteries and things like that. It's bonkers. Like some stones look like meat. I know that sounds weird, but it's very interesting. Yeah, that's what they say. The body of the giants from the flood are the rocks and the soil. Exactly, because they've all been compressed down and made the earth. Nymphlin, maybe. That's what I mean. That's why I'm not religious, but I do believe certain things in the Bible, because they do put stuff out there. They've left us some stuff, but some stuff's been taken out. So, we don't know where we're going if we don't know where we've come from, sort of thing, is what I'm trying to say. And no one's right and no one's wrong. I don't believe God is like a man with a white beard sat on a cloud. I do believe there is a creator, there is a God. I don't know what it looks like, because it may not look like us. So when people say alien, don't be offended. It just means it's alien to us, because it might not look like us. Especially if it's a 5D light being, it might just be light. You know what I mean? The energy, because we are all energy anyway. Do I think JFK Jr. show himself this year? Yeah, I think so. Because the more he's showing himself at the valleys, he's coming out more and more noticeable. So we can't just carry it on. We'll just be getting sick of it, won't we? Be like, right, yeah, we know you're there. Like, can you show yourself now? No, I believe it's got to be done this year. It's got to be done this year. Hello, dear. Yeah, it makes you think of Thor and all those sort of things. The Rainbow Bridge, I've heard about that sort of stuff in a different sense. Makes you wonder about the Aurora Borealis, the lights. JFK Jr. died in the plane crash. You're not hurting my feelings because I know different, so that's okay. Your opinion doesn't really matter. Don't care. It's not what I believe, so you're not going to change my mind like everyone's trying to. Go and research. Lovely. Yeah, they give you history in movies. It's bonkers in movies. So when you think of Atlantis now, if it was underwater and they're going about mermaids and stuff, and do you remember Star Wars? And when Jar Jar Binks and that, they went into that, I can't remember what it was, when they went underwater to that city. Sort of makes you think of stuff, doesn't it? Like, Star Wars, Space Force. Trump was a good friend. Exactly, Trump was a good friend to JFK Jr. He will get justice for his death. Yeah, he will. Well, no, he won't get justice for his death. Trump was friends with JFK Jr. JFK Jr. knew about what happened with his dad's and his dad's death. JFK Jr. is here. He's going to get justice for his father, for 9/11 and a lot of other stuff. We all know this. May the force be with you, exactly. It's an electrical storm. Sun flares can knock you. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Sun flares. Truth in the movie lies in the news. Well, I don't watch the news because mainstream media lie. Oh, yes, she will. Of course she will. They've just got to go around it a certain way. It's been taking time because they've got to go... They're doing it within the law. These people don't do things within the law. Research the history of the Bible with an open mind and you won't remain Christian. It's just the word of God, isn't it? Love, and stuff like that. I think she's already been caught because the one that's showing you saying Hillary doesn't look like Hillary. She has got a lookalike, and you can tell because her hair's always a little bit longer and her face is always a little bit rounder than Hillary. That ain't Hillary. It's not her. So, they say all myths, mermaids, fairies, giants, etc. They are all real. Yeah. I think these are the different dimensions or the elements. They may have called them a different name, like you hear of the Elohim. And when you watch things like Lord of the Rings, which they call Saturn, Lord of the Rings, and the rings around Saturn, you've got the all-seeing eye there. Oh, yeah. I remember when they were all fighting in certain scenes and there was lots of different races of things. That's a bit like us now with things that are about that have been here for a long time. No, I actually believe Jesus was a real person. I believe he was on earth in a physical... I believe he was here. I believe he went to Alexandria libraries where a lot of philosophers and people that worked on the secrets of the universe and stuff were doing that. And along came, the Roman Catholic, whatever they were, burnt that library down. Some people tried to get out with some of the scriptures of the truth and all that we should know where we are and where we're from and this, that and the other. And the Egyptian libraries, the Alexandria Library was in Egypt. I think a lot of them are under the Vatican. And he was trying to get truth out. He was just a truther, and they crucified him like they always do with a truther. He was trying to put the word out, as in, it's a bit like the love word, which the fifth element works on in frequency. That's what they work on. Same thing, really. Same thing, different story. Well, same story. Goes through every century. People trying to get truth out. But this time, as they say, is Age of Aquarius. Because I think Age of Pisces has been going since Jesus Christ, whatever. And now it's into Age of Aquarius, which is lifting the veil, which is bringing the truth, which is spiritual coming to the physical. It's got to be done. It doesn't really matter. Stuff will be coming out. We will be finding out what's what, and that's what's most important, is the truth. How far back do I think the deception's gone? Since day dot, where they may have been all right, and then the deception came in when some sort of whoever came and brought that deception in because they didn't want us knowing the truth that they really are, because they wanted to enslave us and keep us as workers, and didn't want us to to become our full potential and ascending to what we really are, because we should ascend like they've all ascended. They were once us. I believe they were once like us, but over thousands and billions of years they've ascended and they've evolved through love. Switch the love word round. Evolve. We've been kept down and deceived and kept here and kept, they've kept us down with being greedy, basically. Right, Daddy Dragon. I'm going soon anyway, yeah. Yeah, since Adam and Eve, it's all about DNA and stuff like that, I think we all have the same DNA as the great ones did. We all have it in us. Yeah. They reckon because we are the children of the creators, some of us got jealous because we all have that DNA, so we are all from one, whether, it's like us fighting on Earth here, we're all fighting with different religion, all this, and different races. It's stupid, that's been man-made to keep us divided, but we're still all from one. We still all share the same DNA. We're all from the DNA from, our creators. We all still hold the DNA. We may look different, but we're all from one. We are all one, and what's the saying? The Q saying? The JF Kennedy Bell, where we go one, we go all, because we are all one, we are all from one, everything is everything, everything is one. So, I don't get what people don't get. Trump UN speech shocked the world, yeah, but I'm going to go now, because I'm just waffling. I just like hearing what a lot of people say, trolls are trolls, not really bothered. They've got their own opinions. That's brilliant. I guess the truth will be coming out soon, and then I guess we'll see what's what. I'm not saying I'm true. I'm telling the truth. I'm just saying this is what I think. Like I said, like I always say, at least I can think outside the box. I'm not saying you're trolling. I'm saying people do come here and troll. I had a troll on before, but it's their opinion. But at the end of the day, we're all going to find out the truth, and that's why it all needs to come out, because we need to know the truth. That's why people are arguing over different stuff. That's why you get trolls on people's channels, because nobody knows properly. We need to know. Thank you. It's like I said, you don't know where you're going. You can't go somewhere. You don't know where you're going if you don't know where you're coming from. Yeah, they're not. They're coming from a place of hate. Like I said, this frequency thing before we go, like I said before, I see 3D. This is us on Earth. 3D, Earth is a lower vibrating place, because we're all kept at a lower vibration to hate, argue, be in war, this, that and the other. Thank you. So we're all working off lower vibrations. The elites and that want to keep us in the lower vibrations, because then we don't rise above it all and become of a higher vibration, because the higher vibrations you have, thank you, you become more ascending in that vibration. That's why these are for 5D light beings, vibration, whatever you want to call it, energy, which we all are anyway, are more mature than us. They've ascended past all that. They've gone past all this lower vibration. They are very, 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 from very, very high vibration. So they work on love vibration. It's all sound, light, vibrating energies. They vibrate on a totally different frequency to us. But we can change and we can evolve. We should have done ages ago, but we've been kept and controlled in a slave system here, with us all looking at the wrong things, like consuming and looking at too much material and stuff, instead of going within, as above, so below, as within, so without, and finding out what we really are and where we really came from. And that's what we've been lied about. So, I've been down all the rabbit holes, and I'm quite glad I have, because it's nice to look at different stuff and then make your own assumption of what you think. Tomorrow going to be fun. FBI got evidence. Yeah, that senator asked the media. Oh God, it's going to be hilarious. All coming out tomorrow. Red October starts tomorrow. Whoop whoop. Whoop whoop whoop. And like I said, it's a bit like that song, innit? Man in the Mirror. Michael Jackson. we have been lied to, but you can see it. But a lot of people have been deceived, and that's a fact anyway. Whoop whoop. You know, some people have seen it. They can see through the lies, but some people can't see through the lies because they're brainwashed. You know, brainwashed for a long time. That's why, I said in the Q drop, some people are going to have a hard time believing some of the stuff, because if you've been brainwashed for a long, long time, there's people that can just see right straight through stuff, but there's other people that can't. Especially, you know, these generations. We're trying to get all this out to our kids because we don't want our kids and our kids and our kids' kids to be brought up in this slave system that we've been in of not knowing the truth. That's why a lot of kids now, oh, I've got anxiety, I've got this, that, and the other, feel ill, I don't want to do this, because that's what they want them as, keeping them down. They shouldn't be like that. And that's why we do it. It's for the kids. And for what we know what's been happening to the kids as well, but it's for our kids and the next generations to come. We want heaven on earth for them. That means being free. It's freedom. Yeah, we are being overloaded with it, but at the end of the day, you can choose to be overloaded with it or not. You can choose to go through certain rabbit holes or not. It's up to you. But I've been down a lot of them. And now I just choose to follow the ones that I quite like. I know about the nasty ones, and that's good. I'm glad I know. It's awful, but I'm glad I know. But you can choose to. But at the end of the day, I think it's all going to come out high, and it's just up to you to how you're going to get sort of around it. Yeah, you may fall, but you'll get back up again. Freedom soon, exactly. To be free, we need the knowledge, we need to know everything. And I think the reason why a lot of it's being chucked at us is because it needs to be done very soon, because if it doesn't, we can go back to them being in control, which we don't want. It's got to come out. And if it's coming out like a big blur, then basically it's tough. People are just going to have to deal with it. And that's why I believe there's people who are talking truth and trying to get stuff out. So when this happens, hopefully if YouTube and stuff are still here, or people that you know that maybe around your area that have been talking about stuff, or you've been talking to friends and family, they will come to you and ask when the time is right for them to start asking what the hell's going on. You'll be there to explain and help them get through it. That's why I believe we've been told, and people are awake so they can help. There's a lot of us awake, they can help, because we're going to need to help. You know, like it says in that post I always read out, if one stumbles, you know, help them up. If they ask questions, tell them. That's what it's all about. We all want what we are entitled to be free. Exactly. Everybody around the globe, we're entitled to be free, and we all want it. Despite everyone arguing all the crap that they're arguing over, we all want to be free. All is well, evil must flee, everything is unfolding as it should. Exactly, it's unfolding as it should. You know, if people are going to have breakdowns over it, that is what's going to happen, but it needs to come out. Freedom is kind of a pipe dream. Well, I don't think it is. Depends how you look at it, you know, at the end of the day. Not anymore. 99. Yes, I'm going now anyway, so yeah, let's just see what happens this week. Keep the faith. You know, keep positive. I know it's hard. Like I said today, we don't all flatline like this in life. If we have problems and we have to get over them, and we have a bumpy ride, you know, but that's how it goes. We fall down, we get a bit negative sometimes. You just got to pick yourself up and dust yourself off again. There's always tomorrow, you know. Like I said, you watch things that keep you positive. Be out in nature and stuff like that. Listen to the right sort of music in the right sort of hertz, and stay positive, people. That's all you can do. They don't like positive. Like I said, they want to keep us in a lower vibrating frequency here. So if you're just thinking doom and gloom all the time, you're staying in that place of negativity, lower vibration, that those lower beings, or whatever you want to call them, people and beings, working. That's the way they get you. You need to ascend. You need to pick yourself up. Yeah, they keep you dumbed down, so you need to be positive. Like I said, keep yourself away from the news. Find channels that you like watching that uplift you. Read books that uplift you. Do art that uplifts you. Sit in the garden. Go for a walk if you haven't got a garden. Look up at the stars at night with the brew in the garden and relax. Do the things that make you happy. Thank you. Just do the things that make you happy. Don't follow the sheep. If you're doing something and you think you should be doing something else, you know, you're afraid of, like, for instance, saying you don't want to go out with your friends because they're all going drinking and you'd rather just chill out at home. Just do what you want. You know, as long as you're not hurting people. Do what makes you happy. You want to start a bit of art and you think you can't draw or paint? Yes, you can. Put your mind to it. That's why Trump's winning, by the way, because I saw this on that thing. It's his mindset. Someone says he can't do it, he goes and does it. It's your mindset. You want to learn how to paint. These drawings of mine aren't brilliant. That's just me learning how to do acrylic. I'm better at water paints than I am at acrylic, but I want to try and do acrylic. So I'm just going to have to keep practicing. I won't let it beat me. That's all. It's your mindset. You say you can't do something, therefore you can't do it. Okay? It's your mindset. You need a positive mental attitude. The whole thing of our world where we live is mental. They get you on the mental side. It's the way you think. So, you know, they keep you in fear. Yeah, they keep you in fear. Once you get over that, you can do anything. So I'm going, and like I said, where we go one, we go all. Cav will get in, but let's watch what happened this week. It's Red October. It's the first tomorrow. Whoop whoop. So yeah, it's just getting very exciting, people. So yeah, night to you all, afternoon, evening, whatever it is. I believe Trump's having more rallies, so keep your eyes out, people. Oh yeah, I will be coming back with more of my crafty videos because I think it's quite relaxing, because there was a thing that I used to do which was quite relaxing, was making collage pictures like this, which I look back now, if anyone remembers, from ages ago, I did this collage picture and I've just realised that look what's in the middle. Who's this? Follow the white rabbit, people. And the magazines that I look at are not magazines with celebrities in, people, because it's bullcrap. I do a lot of the Spiritual Breathe magazines and stuff like that because I don't like celebrity ones. And there's another one of my pictures from a bit ago. Funny enough, this, isn't it? I put this together ages ago. Let your light shine through. It's not just about being beautiful on the outside. And there's my picture, one of them things again with stars and hearts. I don't know. My son does. But I will be coming back with some of my... Oh, it's from the charity shop. I do make jewellery, but not this one. But I will be coming back with some of my arty-farty videos at some point. Oh, look, and here's a collage I put together at the beginning of this year sometime. Stars, looking out to the moon. Inspire, be spellcasting, be connect. You know, making collages is very relaxing. If you've got any old magazines, you can use the pictures and make lovely collages. Are very relaxing to look at. It's a form of meditation sort of thing, because you I'll explain when I do some of my videos on my thank you, on my collages and stuff that I did do a bit ago. I need to get back into because people enjoyed it, and it is a way of relaxing, and it's another way of making art. And but if you think you're not good at drawing, you can start off like that because you're cutting pictures out. And there's one where I did of a witchy one a bit ago, where I took someone's head in the photo and the hands, and then drew in the body and the legs and the elbows and the hair, so you can connect the picture and make a picture. It's fun. Your kids can do it as well. But my dad's going to give me one of his tripods because I broke mine. So when I get a tripod, I'll be able to do the overview angle where I can draw, which I did do a bit ago, and said I'd bring it back, and I will do, because like I said, my channel's random anyway. I talk about many different things. I don't just do one thing. So I will be bringing my art video things back, because I think it's an also thing that connects, because it will help people, you know, be positive. And that's what my channel was always about. as I've always said, I've always been upbeat on my channel and tried to help people stay positive. So if you fancy that, start collecting some magazines. Even if you've got old magazines, celebrity magazines, which I don't like, you get more beautiful pictures if you can find. If you like reading magazines, is more of the spiritual sort of. I don't know what they have in America, but we have like these breathe ones, and some of the ones I don't like stuff with celebrities in it because it's all rubbish. You know, all it is about she's put weight on, she's lost weight, this, that, and the other. They're getting divorced. It's all rubbish. A lot of it's just made up for news people. So I don't like the celebrity magazines. Sorry, but if you've got any old ones lying about, use them though. Recycling. I'm glad I found your channel. You're so on my way. Oh, thank you. Woohoo! So I'm going to go now because I've been yakking for 10,000 years. So where we go one week wall, it won't always be about Q, so, you know, but then again, bits of it will because I think it'll still go on for quite a bit. But where we go one week wall, JFK Jr. is still alive and I'll see you soon. Bye!